Alright guys, I've got some compressed air here. I just want to clean this out really well. There's some goop down in there. I don't know what it is. Looks like melted plastic or something, but I just don't want to risk anything being in there. Spray the jets. Okay, that part is good. I'm going to set that off to the side now. That's all I've done so far is just the bottom part. Now, we've got some dirt around here, but not too bad. I'm just going to spray that a little bit. Nothing much at all here. There looks like a clean engine inside. There's a port here. I want to get all those ports. And then the next thing, of course, is to shoot it with oil. Oops, I just knocked off my little needle there. Okay. A lot of dirt out here now from blowing it from that compressed air. A lot of dirt out here in the workspace. Hold your float, you don't want to damage it. Keep the valve open. Blow through those ports. Any ports or jets you've got. This is a very clean carburetor. Alright. I think we're ready for reassembly. I'm very pleased with the appearance of this carburetor. I'm going to shut off the power over here. Okay, I'm going to put this back together. Now it's tricky because I've got to get the float in there. I have to get past this metal plate, and I have to get this round thing inside here and get that nozzle in there properly. It's quite a trick. All without injuring or damaging anything. Yeah, it's fun with this plate here. How did I do that? I had to turn it sideways to get it under the plate. Alright, this is going to be tricky. I'm going to play with that and get it back in there. It's really tough with that cover plate on there. I don't want to peel it off either. Okay, that took extreme patience. If you remember that copper tube that went inside, that hung out, has to go up through here into a hole in here. But this plate was in my way, and the one tube fits inside another tube tightly. And boy, that took some work. So now I'm going to put all this together. And hopefully we'll have a running engine. Now what we're going to do is try to run this on a frame that it's on now before we try to put it on the log splitter. It's easier to work on where it sits on that trailer. Now to avoid any dirt getting in, I'm gonna snug these down lightly, these two screws, and then go to the other side. Actually, except for the struggle of taking it apart and putting it together, opening up the bowl, this was one of the easiest carbs I've dealt with. One of the simplest, I should say. There wasn't much to it, actually, inside. Something doesn't feel right with that screw. Maybe some dirt on it. I don't like the feel of that. That screw that screw has been damaged at some time in the past. Well, I guess I'll put it back in the other hole. Anyway, I'm going to put the other screws on and I'll put this back in here and we'll be back over by the engine. Hi everybody, I'm back over here to the engine. Chris, could you bring me that towel, please? Thank you.
You want the brush too, or?
No. Alright, since this is going on and going into the carburetor, this tube, I want to clean this off as well. When that goes right into the carburetor. So we don't want any dirt going into our, and destroying all the work we just did. Okay. Now, the fun parts of getting that on, I think I'll get that first and then I can put the throttle linkage back on. Or, let me see, how is this going to work? Well, maybe I can squeeze that in later. Once you get that tube on, there's going to be tension, which fights me putting this back together. That rubber's pushing against me. Okay, I'll be able to do that. Make sure that the throttle linkage is connected. Just piecing it together here. Hand tightening. Get everything in place. Tube back in its hole. Get it in there nice and tight. Make sure it is in there firmly because you do not want any dirt coming in. It goes right to the inside of the engine right there. That is a tight fit next to the carburetor linkage. Okay. Okay. Now, the little one in the bottom. With engines like this, it's all aluminum, so you don't want to torque anything down hard. You don't want to wreck anything, okay? Now, I'm going to check the gas tank before I proceed. There is a filter on this, but I just want to make sure that there's no bad gas left in there, and before we put this together and put gas in it. Alright guys, I've put it all back together. I stuffed a rag down inside the fuel tank and got some rusty bubbles. The tank itself isn't rusty, so anyway, I sopped up the bad gas in there with that tank. We're going to hook the battery jumper cable back on, and I'll press the switch and see if we can get life out of this old beast. You know what? There's there's dirt coming out of the flywheel, so I'm going to put this on. I usually don't do my first start with the air filter off, but there's dirt coming off this flywheel, and I don't want to have that go into the engine, so close this up. I think my next step will be to blow out the engine with the air compressor, the engine itself. That'll be the next step here. Alright, don't want any of that dirt going in there. Alright, let's see if we can get this running. I don't have it on choke. Let's put it on halfway. There's a manual throttle control. Let me see, that's on full throttle. I'll start it on half, let me see. Off. Start it on half throttle. Come on, you sputtered before. Oops, almost. Mice have definitely made nests in there. Next I'm going to change the oil, check the spark plug, and blow that thing out with some air. And that, people, is why you should drain your oil and change it when you get a new engine. That is wrong. That is really wrong. That's exactly why you need to change your oil when you get something from someone else, because you don't know how they treated it. You don't know what they did with it last, how they cared for it, and that could destroy your engine. That's why the first thing I do is get an engine to run, and then I shut it right off and change that oil. There's water in there, and that's not just from sitting around. That's mixed into the oil, so that was run like that at one point. So we're going to clean that out, we're going to flush it out, put new oil, run that for a tank of gas, and change it again. And this engine should last me for years and years and years.
Another good tip.
Yeah,
You
please.
take a rag and you wipe some oil on it.
Bring it down to the camera here, Chris. Yeah, right there.
Yep. You take it, you put it on a rag like that, and you hold it up to the sun, and you're looking for shininess to it.
Oh yeah, some metal chips.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. To see how, if there's any, is there any metal chips in that? It's a pretty good engine.
I figured it wasn't going to be, but with that color oil,
That color
I had to
oil.
check.
Yes. Thank you, Chris, for your input.
No problem.
Hi guys. Went to town and got some fuel line and a fuel filter, just to be safe. Although I cleaned out the tank. Now it's sputtering bad, and it was running really rough, barely running. The oil air filter was sopping with oil, and now it's running pretty rough. We put some PB Blaster small engine tune-up in the carburetor, and I've got seafoam in the gas. And we're gonna go get a spark plug. I should have grabbed a spark plug in town earlier. We're gonna have to go get a spark plug too, because it's cleaning out all the gunk in the engine. You'll hear it start to pick up a bit, and then start to sputter, and it'll start to smoke for a while, and it'll kick up again. It's had a lot of water in that engine and in the oil, and I'm thinking it's up in the valves and up in the cylinder head. Well, this doesn't have much of a head, but I mean where the valves pass through is probably filled up with oil and water, I mean, and it's not firing cleanly. It'll run smooth for a few minutes and bog down a bit, so it's definitely got to be run and cleaned out. We've got to go back and get a new air filter and a spark plug, but I'm going to let it run. Let it run and let that seafoam and PB Blaster do its work, because the carb is clean, but the engine itself is gunked up really bad. So it's sad to see how engines are treated in their previous lives. Ran 2 quarts of oil through this. Well, we emptied the original quart, put a quart of clean, fresh oil in it, ran it 1 minute and dumped that out, and that looked horrendous. So it's got another quart of oil in it, and I'm going to dump that out again later as well if it looks bad, until it comes out good and clean. So that's it for now, guys. It is running, and it'll clean up, but it'll just take time running it to let all that gunk clean out of that top end. There it's starting to sputter again, and it'll pick up again. So we'll just let it run. Let it clean itself out, because it is gunked up. Well, everybody, went to get an air filter, and nobody had it out of 3 places. So we ordered it. It will be here tomorrow. We have a t-shirt zip tied on there for now. It's in a relatively clean air environment at this time. Put a brand new spark plug in it, and that's going to be it for today. I'm just going to let it run through that tank of gas and clean itself out with the seafoam and the PB Blaster, and let it just clean the carbon and the oil and the water and the junk buildup out of that engine, and hopefully it'll start smoothing out with time. Well, guys, I'm going to sign off for the night and get this video up for y'all. The engine is running. It was not earlier, so I'd call that a bit of a success. It just needs to be run to clean itself out. Same thing I had with another engine just the other day. Sometimes you just got to run them and clean out the carbon and the filth inside. I am a strong believer in seafoam for cleaning out an engine without pulling the head, that is. So if you want to see this go on the log splitter, which will be another day and another project because I have to wait for the air filter to arrive, please do check out my daily videos. We are living off the grid and trying to become self-sufficient on a homestead of 56 acres. So please watch my daily videos and watch for the video where I mount this onto the log splitter and get it going. So please do check it out. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Talk to you guys later.